Hi, good evening and welcome to the IBD Ostomy Support Show. Tonight we are purely covering body image. I'm Louise, or known as Crohn's Fighting. Tonight we've got Steve Cartmail joining us. Rachel's here. Natalie's back, yay! And I believe Steffi has just signed in because she was having a bit of an issue with her laptop. We might have said a few swear words before she signed in, but she's all right. So we're just waiting for her to come in. Say hi, Steph. Is she on? Is she not on? Okay, anyway, we've been rolling out the polls across Twitter, Instagram and Facebook with regards to the body image. I believe this evening, I'm sorry Steve, but we're going to do male versus female body image. My week this week, so pretty busy Monday. Tuesday I went to see the dermatologist. I have eczema all up the palms of my hands and on my back. If it doesn't clear up with a steroid cream, I've got to go back and have biopsies, and I've been booked in for a patch test. Yay. I might have been really naughty and gone across several stoma care companies this week and ordered a lot of samples. That'll be going up on my Crohn's phone page later on in the week. But on the plus side, last night I slept my first full night since having the surgery, which is close to 6 months, because I've got a bigger bag. Yay. Oh, and Bertha decided to fart on a packed train on Tuesday, so I had to deny all knowledge of it happening. But anyway, I will pass you over to Steffi and we'll go from there.
Hi, I'm Steffi of Colitis to Ostomy. This week has been pretty boring for me. I've found out I do have low iron after my GP found out that they haven't actually done an iron test in. So all this full count malarkey was just that, malarkey. So hopefully going to have some iron infusions in the near future. And I've just been writing stuff for my blog and everything else that I write for. But other than that, my week's been boring. So I'll pass you on to Rachel.
Thanks, Steph. Hi, I'm Rachel and I'm from Rocking2 Stomas. Okay, so my week has been, I've been really busy. I've got to visit 2 people who are in hospital tomorrow. I've met some new osteomates this week and I've met people who are ill, and I've kind of in that forgotten actually that I'm probably, you know, still not great, and my prolapse is pretty bad. I think I've just been overdoing it, but I've been doing some blogging and yeah, I think I've just not wanting to sit with myself much, so I've just been doing too much, so I need to try and slow down and rest. But yeah, it's been quite a busy week. It's quite nice to just sit and just kind of rest for a bit. Yeah, so not much really. Nat?
Hiya. Well, I'm still not well. I think I've got a chest infection. I really need to go to the doctors and get some antibiotics for it because it's just dragging on and on. But I do feel better than I did last week, so that's good. This week, the boys have also been ill. I got cough from them, but with me, it's just gone one step worse and onto my chest. So they had a couple of days off school at the start of the week. Steve's here. He goes home tomorrow. Oh.
Wrong, Steve.
What day was it? Tuesday, it must have been 2 days ago. I actually saw a post. This isn't really IBD related as such because it's more to do with my arthritis, but there was an article in my local newspaper about a girl who's got arthritis and she's facing either not having children or having to come off her medication to get pregnant. So she didn't know anybody sort of in this area of us. She's 25, I think. She was looking for people sort of in their 20s to 30s that have arthritis, because a lot of the sort of support groups are based either for children or then for the elderly. And so I emailed the newspaper, passed on my details. She's actually found me on Facebook. So I've sort of been chatting to her about what I had to do, what meds I had to, obviously a lot of them are the same, anti-TNF meds and stuff. I had to come off my anti-TNF. Now I have heard people staying on infliximab and Humira and stuff now, so it might be slightly different from when I had the boys. But so I've been speaking to her, and I've had an interesting email from the editor of the newspaper who wants to possibly, because I was talking about setting up groups in the area. I was thinking of doing it once a month, but it'd be obviously once every 2 weeks for me, because I'd do one for arthritis and one for Crohn's and stomas. So he wants to sort of know more about that and hopefully get it some publicity. Although that's a bit scary, because now I've really got to do it, and it's not just sort of these scattered notes I've got on paper. So but,
it's a good thing that you're doing that. It's lovely. It's good.
Yeah, it will be. I think
difficult to set up, honestly. I know you'll have two, but I managed it with.
Yeah, I think they're going to run pretty similar. I mean, a lot of the drugs I'm on cover both of my conditions, so a lot of things sort of you can do for both. Body, like we're doing body image tonight, you can do that for both. So it's sort of topics wise and all that sort of stuff, I think will be okay. It's just, I don't know, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I can get somebody else on board as well, because I think that'll take a bit of the weight off of me.
It's better to have somebody else as well, because you can throw ideas around. They might think of things that you didn't. I've got two guys that I do the support group in Hambleton, Richmondshire with, and they're really good to just bounce ideas off. So.
Yeah. And I suppose if you're on holiday or just anything can come up, can't it? So, but, I've also had a letter today. I'm not quite sure what's going on, but I had to have a bone density scan because I've been on steroids sort of like 6 years now. My GP was pretty concerned that my bones haven't been checked. My risk of osteoporosis is very high now. I had a bone density scan a month or two ago, and I've just had a letter for an appointment for metrology, which, from what I've Googled, because I didn't know what it was, is to do with the skeleton. So I'm guessing it's something to do with the results of that. So.
Well, just wait until you see them. Don't Google it. Don't worry.
No.
You think you're going to definitive.
Sort of like measurements and stuff. It was all to do with physics, and I was like, oh, but then it mentioned the skeleton, so that's why I'm guessing it's following up from the scan. But we'll see when we get it. It's not till the start of August, so I've got a little while. Okay,
well, stay away from Google till then. Okay. We've got some male blood joining us this evening. We've got Steve Cartmail joining us. He does a lot across Crohn's and Colitis UK Facebook group, support group. He's across a few others. So we're going to introduce Steve and he can have a little chat.
Hello, I'm Steve. My week, really, I've been to work. Last week I did a little vanilla blush exhibition at a hotel in Dudley. Pretty much a boring week, to be fair. I've been at work. I've had the kids yesterday for tea, and then here we are right now. That's pretty much me this week.
What did you do at the exhibition?
We just basically displayed the clothing, the underwear, and took names really of people who were interested, whether it be to buy or whether it be for prescriptions. Oh, the amount of people that didn't know they were available. It was quite good. I mean, there's some people that didn't have a clue. That didn't have a clue about any of the forums that we know about.
Wow.
Yeah, it's quite an eye opener for some people. And we got a nice dinner as well, which was nice.
I mean, you've got UC, haven't you? And
I have, yes.
You've been through the mill with that.
Yeah, I mean, my parastoma hernia seems to be. I've got a little bit bigger as well. It's like my garments aren't covering it up as much now. There's still quite a dramatic lump there.
Oh, bless you. They're not the most comfortable thing in the world either, are they?
It's really more about the image than anything, though. It hurts when it's moving. It tore probably about 6 months ago. I was driving at work and I went over a pothole and I actually felt something rip. And then it started to get bigger. So they took me off that job. I'm on a different job now. But it's not so much... It's uncomfortable at times, but it's more about the body image than anything. You know, it sort of governs what I wear.
No, I get that. For any of you wishing to read Steve's full story, we have posted that up on the IBD and the Ostomy supports page. There's no flannel in there. He's literally given it to you both barrels on how
No flannel.
on no flannel and onto how it went. So if you take a look at that, but I mean, we rolled out the polls, didn't we, last week with regards to the body image and how your body image is affected. We covered both IBD and having ostomies with that, didn't we? But I know, Steffi, you did a different sort of poll on Twitter, didn't you?
Yeah, sadly it didn't get as many votes as I'd have liked, because I wanted to see from the male and the female aspect of it, which I know Steve did. You asked in the male IBD and ostomy groups. And can I just say that the 2 times I've met you in the flesh, I didn't know you had a hernia. I couldn't tell. I mean, the first time you were all suited and booted with your little dicky bow tie and your waistcoat.
I didn't have a hernia then. The second time,
didn't you?
no.
Did you have one at Christmas though?
Yeah, but it was kind of like raised about I'd say about half an inch. If you're looking down at your tummy, the left hand side was half an inch flatter than the other side, but it's about an inch now.
Well, I know what that's like, but I don't have a hernia. It's just the way that my first surgery was badly sewn up, so mine is like that naturally.
Yeah.
So I do understand how that can affect you psychologically.
Jesus Christ, did you guys, I don't know if you guys were following me on Instagram, but when I first posted prior to having the surgery, did you see the size of my stomach? Because I had a hernia each side. My stomach was huge.
Was it?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
If you go back through my Instagram, it's one of my first posts up. My stomach was humongous, and there's a couple of throwbacks that I've done on Facebook where I've got the hernias, and you can see the difference between the flat bit of me and the bit that just goes.
I think that's more of an issue, isn't it? When you've got one flat side and one raised side. It's probably the only thing I like about having a pregnant belly at the moment is it's evened itself out.
Do you know what was fun? I know obviously we're talking about the body image, but do you know what was fun when I had the hernias? If I'd stand a certain way and curve my back, I actually looked like I was 9 months pregnant because the scar tissue used to pull and ripple around my stomach, so it used to sort of shift. It's a very weird feeling and uncomfortable and painful for that matter. I'm so glad that I don't have them anymore. But it's half the reason why I've been doing all the walking, because I haven't got the all clear to go back to the gym, and I don't think I could risk getting another hernia. I don't think I could deal with the pain.
I do to be honest, I do struggle with mine. It's like today, the girls have had pictures of mine today because I've eaten some noodles, and I think because I've just overdone it and I've been visiting lots of people, it's massive. And not the hernia is massive, and then also the prolapse is massive, and it does. I try not to let affect how I feel about myself, but it does, because I look in the mirror and I just think, oh, I'm like half pregnant, and then everybody thinks I'm pregnant, so I just say yes to them because it's easier, and it's just like, and it does hurt. For me, I can't have any surgery on it, so I just have to accept that it's going to get bigger and bigger, and that's just part of how it is, and I've accepted that now. But it's not easy, is it, Steve, having a hernia, and Louise?
No, it's not. But it's just I keep having to happens.
I keep having to explain that I'm not just fat, and I'm forced to show my bag all the time just to show the lump. I'm sick to death of getting it out, to be fair.
But you go to the gym and stuff as well. You like, and you take care of yourself. With
I can't work any of my core. I just don't have no strength there
What about the car 4? Can you do the car 4? Have you looked at doing the car 4 training, the coloplast car 4? You basically just lie on a bed. And it's like that. It's you start off with like breathing exercises. And then you start like gently twisting your body, so you move your legs from side to side. Seriously, Google it, or I'll send you a link.
I'll have to have a look at that. Yeah, definitely send me a link.
They give that to you when you first come out of hospital. It's exercises to do on the body. It comes out in the leaflet sheet that you come out with after you've had the stoma surgery. I myself can't do core because I don't have any central stomach muscles. All my central abs have been removed. All I've got left is the obliques, so I can't do core. It wouldn't matter. I could do 1,000 sit-ups a week, and I would not get any better than what I've got now. I mean, Steffi, what does body image mean to you?
If I'm honest, not being fat. That is, for me, body image. I've struggled with body image for a very, very, very long time. Having steroids from a very young age didn't help. Not knowing that, other than the moon face, which I actually got told about, other than that, I didn't. And I had an eating disorder when I was on the steroids. So just gaining weight sucked, losing weight. My issue is all around weight. I couldn't give a crap that I have a stoma. My stomach covers the bit of my stomach that raises up from the badly sewn up scar. So I like the bag for that because it hides that part of my stomach. I don't. But no, mine's literally just weight. For me, body image is all around weight for me. But what about you, Nat?
I think lately mine's probably been more weight than anything else. I've struggled with losing weight before my surgery, but to the point where I didn't realise I was so skinny. Now I look at photos and they're just awful from that time. I just look so poorly. But then I really sort of struggled gaining weight after my surgery, which now I'm heavier than I've ever been, apart from when I was pregnant. And I'm more than happy, although I struggle now with the sort of not being as toned as I used to be because I can't work my stomach quite so hard. Not that I was a serious gym bunny or anything before, but I always have had a flat stomach and all that sort of stuff. I've got a hernia starting, so I've got to be really careful. And obviously, because my arthritis has been in such a bad flare, I've not been able to do any exercise. My other thing is my arthritis. Obviously, when that's bad, I can walk funny. My elbows, that's as straight as that arm goes. Don't know if you can tell properly. Which to some people, probably that one's even worse. They don't even notice stuff like that, but I know, sort of walking along the street, it might look a bit odd, I don't know. I just feel weird about that sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't bother me, but
I suppose it's kind of like when you're heavily pregnant. Obviously, Steve, you won't know this because you know, your ex-wife was pregnant, not you. But like you waddle, and you can tell you feel like you're waddling, even though you're not.
yeah,
You're maybe not visibly waddling, sorry, and it's horrific. It's horrible.
yeah. It's sort of your mind plays tricks on you, I think, and always makes you feel worse than the situation actually is.
It's only recently, over the last sort of 4 or 5 weeks since I've started up the Humira again, that my hips have been brilliant. I've been limping for the past sort of 3 years. You limp on one side. I have like 3-4 months of limping, and then it would stop, and then I'd start limping on the other leg, and I'd be like, hang on, and then that would stop, and then my back would hurt because I've been limping on both sides. I got like 3 limps. But now, over the last 5 weeks, it's been fantastic. Now it's either a remission or the Humira is working, because it never worked for my colitis. Yeah, I think it's working for my sacroiliitis.
I got my phone call the other day. Finally, my anti-TNF has been approved. The prescription is ready. So now I'm just waiting for delivery.
That's really good.
What, you having Humira?
No, Cimzia I'm on, which I was put on to deal with my arthritis and my Crohn's. It didn't work for my Crohn's. Obviously, I ended up having the surgery, but it was so good for my arthritis. So they're putting me back on that. And then possibly, I'm on the methotrexate anyway, and they're looking at maybe putting me on something else to deal with the Crohn's if needed. So,
I mean, for any of you that read my blog this morning, I think I have a bit more of a hippie approach to body image. What was it? I like to quote you girls, Bridget Jones, you're perfect just the way you are. Don't get me wrong, I've struggled with body image over the years, and like Nat was saying, with regards to only looking back now, realising how skinny she was, or how skinny she looked to what she is now. I think both with Crohn's and UC, there's certain aspects of it that are beyond your control. You can't control the weight loss. You can't control the weight gain unless you're in remission. You can't do it. I mean, I myself, I was a size 6 to 8 for 3 years prior to being diagnosed. And then within 3 months of being diagnosed, I went up to a size 14 because of the steroids. That is such a big jump. But I think it's more.
I've done in my pregnancy, gone from a size 8 to a size 14.
And I think it's the mental thing more than anything. But everything is so edited in life now, and body shots, and like we was talking about, the filters and Snapchat and everything else. And I think the way that I deal with things, and I think the way it helps me, is that I don't filter anything apart from the odd black and white filter, because I can't portray myself to be lifelike and honest if I'm putting filters on everything to edit the way I look or how I feel. Oh, don't get me wrong, I try occasionally to hold my stomach in, but when you've got a stoma, that does not work very well.
You can't do it.
You can't do it. So I think,
and that little pouch that you have left over from babies.
yeah, the little bit at the bottom that you can sort of not fold up, but it goes a little bit. I think with me, I think it's just, I researched so much prior to having the surgery done, again, because I knew it was going to be permanent. I knew that that was going to be my perfect, regardless of whether I was super skinny or whether I whacked on a few cheeseburgers worth of pounds. Not that I eat cheeseburgers, because I can't eat beef and I can't eat the bun.
You're going to be screwed when Ben and I go to Five Guys, aren't you?
If there's chicken, I'll be fine. But I think the body image with me, I think there's always going to be somebody out there that's going to find you perfect for you. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, everybody's got different tastes. Some people like skinny partners, some people like curvy people, some people like someone that's in between. There's always going to be somebody that's going to want you for you. So instead of trying to live up to the body image that is portrayed in the celebrity magazines or online, none of them are perfect. That's all photoshopped, edited, airbrushed.
It's about being comfortable yourself, within yourself, isn't it? I'm never going to have a six-pack. I've always been roughly 16.5 to 17 stone. Before it was fat, now a lot more muscle now, but I'm still the same weight. I've stayed the same weight, just fluctuated between a few pounds here and there. But I think just as long as you're comfortable with yourself and you sort of you can get around, then you're happy, ain't you? I don't sort of look up to the magazines. I see it, and yeah, it'd be nice, but it's not practical. I like my food too much.
I think that always wins out for me. I love food, so I don't really get.
It's like that Kim Kardashian post, isn't it? Sorry, Rachel.
No, it's carry on. It's all right.
She lost loads of followers because they were like, oh my God, as if she's got cellulite or that, like her butt isn't airbrushed all the time. Who cares? She's still human and she's never going to look normal because she's had that many surgeries. Who cares? She doesn't care. You know, she wouldn't have responded in such a good way that she did. And I'm not a Kardashian fan, but like, I totally give her props for that. Like,
Jesus Christ, you should see the insides of my face. I resemble, you remember the old A to Z maps that my granddads used to use to be driving about? That is what my tummy and my hips look like. I've got cellulite on the inside of my legs. My bum is probably more bumpy than an orange. But hey, hey.
I can't see my bum, so I don't care. That's what I think.
But, you know...
I've learned from me, right? I've learned that I don't look in the magazines anymore. I just don't. I think for me, like what body image means to me is it's so complex. There's so much to it. And before I got ill, I had eating disorders. Like I over-exercised. I had issues with my body before, and it's definitely been a process, and it continues to be a process. But I think I'm actually I am, since having a stoma, is much better. So look at the pictures of when I was like 7 stone before I had my ileostomy, and it was just, I look horrific. And I can't believe that I thought I was fat then. And it's like, now I've got this hernia, I've got the prolapse, I've, effects, I've got the massive scars and everything else. But I think now I've learned through the illness and through the surgery, I've learned to love myself. Like I truly love myself now, and I think that helps me with my body image. That loving myself is so important, and I think I never got that before. Even though I was skinny before, because I didn't love myself, I didn't have that acceptance. And I agree with what Louise is saying, that, you know, somebody out there will love you. But I think ultimately you've got to learn to love yourself, and you've got to learn to love warts and all. And I think that's what, that's why I'm doing that. And it's hard. And I was just saying, I was speaking to somebody today, and I was just saying how, you know, I wonder really, like, would I be this content and this sort of know myself so well if I hadn't got this illness? Because it's like, it takes you, like you guys know, we go down a level each time. We got to go deeper each time. Every time we're in surgery, we face different challenges. We go to a deeper level, and it's like, I don't think I would actually maybe get to this acceptance at 30 if I hadn't had it, because my whole thoughts were so messed up before. And it's just, yeah, that little gratitude thing.
I definitely think since my surgery, I've had wobbles, which is why I wouldn't say I'm completely happy with myself, because especially, like, you know, with my steroids lately, and it is going down, I think. But that was a really big thing for me. But I just think, I just look at the bigger picture now, and I think I've put a bit of weight on, but I'm healthy. I'm here. I'm watching my little boys grow up. And I was just going to read, somebody got in touch with me yesterday after I posted in one of the groups. This was her response. I have put it on. It will come on the show page later. But it almost made me cry. I was just like that. It's just a brilliant, brilliant way of like looking at it. So I'm just going to read it out. But she's put, I think overall I gained a lot more respect for my body and what it was capable of after having surgery, and also having to rely on steroids for so long. It was a big step to be comfortable with my body at every stage and size over the years, but I was expending enough energy and trying to get and stay better without hating myself too. When things are good, I appreciate having the energy to live a life doing things I enjoy, and mixing with people who are both interesting and interested in me, and as well as my well-being. Hating my body would take away from my enjoyment of that. When things are less good and my body is playing up, then I remind myself it isn't going to be this way forever. I wear things that make me feel good and remind myself that tomorrow is a new day. I stopped hating my body when I stopped blaming it for me being ill and all that was happening to it and me. I still have days where I don't like things about myself, but I don't hate my body anymore or dwell on the negatives. If I can improve whatever it is, then good. If I can't, it's not the end of the world. And if I just want to change it, then it's all right too. If I don't respect my body, how can I expect anyone else to? I have the confidence now to explain my scars, my illness and my journey, but appreciate that not everyone does so. If seeing me be proud of my body at every stage of this, me be proud of my body at every stage of this disease dispels the myths of IBD and surgery to someone, makes them more aware or gives them confidence to do the same, then to me that's a good thing. And I just thought that
brilliant,
was
amazing.
Yeah.
A girl called Katie, and I was like, that's perfect. And obviously not everybody's ready for that, but I think that's what we hope to do, and talking about
it doesn't matter how long it takes. It can take you forever as long as you continue working towards it. And it's like, I know when I'm not pregnant and I've been given the all clear from my section to exercise again, I know that I'll be just happy doing my running. I don't care. I won't care about having a flat stomach, because I didn't have a flat stomach before my surgery, and I was like exercising all the time, but I was predominantly just running because I just like, I never ever thought I would ever say that, but I love running. And like it's just that's what I'm looking forward to from this point, is being able to take ownership of my body again. I'm not supporting another life. It'll be just mine.
No, that's good. That's a good attitude to have. I've just got a quick question for Steve. We've got a few chaps on this evening, and I've got Jamie asking, Steve, what would you wear? What's the best support wear to wear for hernias and for stomas for men?
Well, I've got during the gym time, you mean?
He's just asked in general.
In general, I wear the vanilla blush vests, and also the boxer shorts with the high band as well. That really support. I wear that during the day, but if I was like at the gym, I've got a Highline one, which is a really stretchy, quite thick material, and that's, you know, the Blake Beckford.
Yeah, the belt
Yeah,
that you have to wrestle yourself with.
That's right. That's the one. Oh, that's it. Fantastic. If you was lifting weights, just holds everything in, but still allows your stoma to work. Which is the main thing, you know.
It's basically, it's like an old-fashioned back brace, isn't it? But it's not a back brace. It's softer than a back brace. To
be honest, Louise, I've developed a hernia with using stuff, so I think I was just prone to one. You know, I've put all the things in place to stop me getting one, but I think it was just going to happen anyway. It's not like I'm lifting ridiculous weights.
What Comfys have said to me is that all hernia support wear, whether it's Vanilla Blush, Comfys, or some of the others that I don't really know that well, they can only prevent the ones that are going to be preventable. If you're going to get one, unfortunately, you are going to get one, and the hernia wear isn't 100%. It's not, but it's better than not wearing anything at all.
It is. You're absolutely right. I had a few Comfys before I even got on board with Vanilla Blush. I had Comfys vests and bands, and it's the same again. You know, you wear them as and when you need them, don't you? If it's a hot summer's day.
Yeah, I struggle with mine. I struggle with them because the prolapse is so big and because it causes accidents. And when I go out, I'll wear them to so nobody else can see the bags. But when I'm at home, I'll just let them out because for me, I think with the hernia and the prolapse, it's just too painful and it causes accidents. But I really I'm thinking about getting some Vanilla Blush, but I am worried that they'll be too tight because of the prolapse, because everybody talks about hernias, but not many people talk about prolapses.
They don't. I was going to ask you about that myself, because obviously a prolapse, it's against your skin, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it falls out, so it's sometimes it will take it up the whole of the bag, and you can see it. And when you've got some tight underwear on or the vest, it does press against it, and when it presses against it, it's painful. So sometimes if it's not too bad, I'll wear it, but I maybe I should wear it more for the support, but I think I've got to a point with me that I'm too far gone. Do you know what I mean?
Perhaps if they could invent something that allowed the prolapse to come out, like for instance a stoma hole, you know.
Yeah.
Because I think that'd be quite detrimental to the prolapse to have it squashed against your skin.
That's why they tell me not to.
Can't you get the stealth belts for that though as well? The stealth.
No, I've spoken to my stoma nurse about it, and they've said because of how it's really not very good and how big it is, they've said that they wouldn't work. There's no point having them. Of course, because what they're worried about with me is when it's prolapse that there's that it can die off. For me, before a bit of the stoma's died off, and if it gets squashed, they're worried about cutting it off. So I think they prefer me not to. But I do feel like an image thing. If I'm going out with my partner or we're going out, I'll put the band on. But I wish I could wear them all the time. But I find it's less painful for me not to wear one, to have them both out.
You got to do what works for you. Not everyone is going to be able to wear hernia wear. Not everyone is going to be able to get away with wearing the Vanilla Blush underwear, but at the end of the day, a lot of people can, and I fully believe you should do whatever makes you feel comfortable.
I'll be perfectly honest with you. I've been out walking and I've been doing, like you guys know, I do 5-6 miles in one hit. I don't wear any support wear when I go out walking for the pure fact if I sweat that much. Sometimes wearing the support wear along with the bag can mean that the bag actually slides off.
It comes off, yeah.
So, yeah.
That's what I don't like about my hernia support belt is the sweatiness. It's just not comfortable at all. So I don't wear mine all the time. I just wear it when I really need it.
I mean, I personally wear mine to my Comfys vest to smooth out lumps.
Yeah,
because it's very good at pushing.
I've heard the vest.
So that's the thing, isn't it? It's supposed to push you in.
It is.
I mean, I personally like Vanilla Blush knickers, but I like my support wear from Comfys. But that's me. And both, from what I've can gather, both Vanilla Blush and Comfys think that's fantastic. That I've got that support that works for me, and makes me feel good about myself. And I'll promote them both because I think they're both fantastic companies. So
without doubt.
and that's the thing, you've got to, it
Thing
may
is,
take
there's room for both
a
as well.
while,
There's room
yeah.
for, you know, if you think about the amount of people with stomas, you know, obviously we know there's thousands and thousands, but the general public aren't going to know that. There's room for competition, you know, because you're always going to strive to get a better product. You're always going to get a better product as well, you know, if the competition.
Yeah,
When you
yeah,
just
yeah.
look at the difference with bags, like I think
Yeah.
we all
Yeah,
wear
exactly.
different bags on the show, and it just is what works for you, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's the
but
same thing.
Yeah.
at some point, stay tuned. Once Steffi's had baby button, we're going to be playing with a little bit of science, and we have decided that for each of us, dependent on skin allergies and whatever else, are going to send the
ostomy
other
bag roulette.
three of the other
Wow.
bags. So we are going to be doing ostomy roulette, and we're going to be reviewing the bags on the show.
But then
Where-
again, what's going to work for us, one of us might not work for the other, and vice versa. It's again all down to.
So basically, we're giving you an unbiased opinion and
Yeah.
review of each bag.
I must have tried 6, 7 bags, and every one of them affected my skin. The glue did until the last one, which didn't.
And what do you use
And,
now, Steve?
I use Pelican. I do the one piece.
Yes,
But all of the others made my skin either sore or red and not sore. And I tried them all for like over a week. You know, say two bag changes. And it just didn't heal. And then once I tried the Pelican, they were brilliant. It must be something in the glue bit. But who knows that my body hasn't changed now, like your taste buds do.
It can.
You know what I mean?
I've got to go.
You're not to know.
No, I mean, if you do have allergies with the bags, you can actually get referred to a dermatologist and they can do a patch test on you. I've got to go and have mine done in the next 6 weeks because I'm restricted to specific bags at the moment. I can't use Hollister or Dansack because you guys saw how bad my skin got in December. I can't go near those bags. They're awful for my skin. I've got a load of samples. I've ordered Salt, Swelland, Oak Med. I've ordered the Sensora Mio from Coloplast as well. From the looks of the ones that Welland have sent me through, I can't use them because they're exactly the same backing as the Dansack bags. Oak Med are good. I've not had an issue with those, but I just don't like the way that the back base plate sits. So
See, for me, I have no problem with Dansack Nova Life at all. In fact, I didn't send off the bunch of boxes I had when I swapped over to Coloplast because when I got pregnant, my skin hated anything Coloplast, Brava, any of it. So I was so glad that I'd kept all them Dansack bags because that's what I'm using. The Welland bags, because it didn't want to, I don't know, bend with my bump. So the convex kind of pushed up. And then I got leaks, which is not what I wanted, but I'm just, it's shocking how much difference you can have between bags. And I don't have an issue with any of them, the way they look or anything. The Sensora Mio is nicer, but I think I heard a rumour, or I read a rumour, that Ted Baker, the bag designer, or the designer, whatever he is, I'm not fashion forward, but if you've seen my outfits of the days, you'll know that. But he apparently designed the Coloplast Sensora Mio bags.
He did,
apparently,
Yeah,
he
did
also,
Wow.
apparently he has a stoma himself. I'm not 100%
I
on
think
that
it's
one.
a family
but-
member of his that has a stoma.
Oh, wow.
So yeah,
Bit of trivia.
anyone
I
that's
do like-
wearing a Sensora Mio, you're wearing a Ted Baker bag.
I am. I got Baker. Yes, like it. With me, like, I think for me it was like I love the color. Like, I like okay, it fits perfectly, like the convex for both of them. But because I've got the 2 bags, there's something about having that's off silver and not skin color for me. It really helps. Like, I don't know, I can't describe it. I think if I had when I had one, it wasn't too bad, but having the both of them, it does help.
Apparently, it's supposed to sit better behind every colour clothing and not be as visible. Whereas, you know, I mean, if you take someone of a darker skin colour or you know, God, there's no way of saying that without sounding like a racist git, but like, you know, everyone of different shades, I guess.
Yeah.
It's going to be different. It's like, why stick? Why should they have to have like our normal colour, you know?
No, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Did we all want to send out a shout out to RPM? I believe the majority of us know who he is, but I won't say his name. He's currently in hospital watching us drinking Pickleax at the moment because he has his surgery tomorrow. So,
oh yeah,
we will wish you well. And we hope that you get on and everything will be okay. And we're all here to chat when you need it after surgery. So we wish you all the luck in the world. What else? Okay, so all the responses with regards to body image, we have got stories going up every half an hour. I've had a few funny responses off of Instagram. I think one of my absolute favourites has to be Sonia. I get on quite well with Sonia, and we both have a love of cats. And along with telling me what thighs are good for with regards to clipping cat nails the other night, she also said that her perspective on her body image is that after having the surgery, her weight has started to creep up on her, but she knows she has to stop eating so much, but she just wants to eat anything and everything in sight.
Sonia is one of them that goes out and lives life.
Yeah,
on her Instagram.
She does go out and live life, and she says she'll eat anything and everything. Unfortunately, well, good on you, because
I think the fact that she can eat is a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was the same after my surgery.
And she says she loves her 6-inch belly scar. It's her warrior scar, but she still hates her chunky thighs. She said having a stoma hasn't made any difference to me about her body image as a general whole. And she said, as far as she's concerned, she sees her stoma as an upgrade. And
what about you, Steve? Did you get many responses?
I got about 6 or 7 responses. Richard Harris, who was on last week, he says his body image hasn't really been affected by his bag, but his current inability to exercise due to prolonged recovery from arthritis, nearly 2 years with no exercise. He says that he's put on weight, which probably makes him more conscious than actually having a bag, which is pretty much where I am, to be fair. The bag, it's my lifesaver. I'm quite happy with it. It's just literally the weight, but I had the weight beforehand. I've had a couple responses. One was a gentleman. He didn't want his name. He says hates when he's getting intimate with a new girlfriend, that he has to do a prepper that he has a bag on his stomach. Makes him feel insecure. A gentleman called James Hunt, happy to share his name. I hope.
Too late now.
It's too late. Yeah, it's too late now. He's coming up to his first year's Stoma this Saturday.
Oh, bless him.
He's not happy with his body image at present. He says he put on a lot of weight through depression and comfort eating. Currently having another flare and trying to decide whether to have the stump removed. He's been swimming. He wears a wide hernia belt and a swim top to hide the bag. Same again, really, about the body image, whether it's been overweight or whether it's the bag itself. Most important thing is getting your mindset right. Once you come to terms with it yourself, everyone else can sort of get lost, if you know what I mean.
I mean, I've had another chap come to me on Twitter. I won't mention his name, but he's got Crohn's. He's had his stoma now a good couple of years, and he struggles with his body image. He says he feels less of a man with the stoma because he can't gain weight. No matter what he tries to do, he can't get above the weight that he's currently at. And he said, and with that, the depression's kicked in as well, and he finds it very difficult to motivate himself to do certain things and to, you know, in general, the dietitians have said, you've got to try this, you've got to try that, and he doesn't like what he tries, the weight's just not going on. So I'm still talking to him at the moment, so we'll see how that goes. I have found, though, that the men aren't as forthcoming as the females.
I was going to say I've had a few male responses, but all my male responses were more negative. The girls, there was a mixture.
Yeah.
But all the boys I had men that I had certainly very much to start with, after their surgery or after diagnosis, were all very negative.
I mean,
I'm the same, yeah.
I mean, we've had another story that's going up at 9:30. Megan, I know you know Megan, Rachel.
I do, yes.
And Megan said she's struggled ever since she was 11, because that was when she was originally diagnosed. All she ever wanted to have is to basically be perfect, and half of that is because of the magazines that she used to get bought whilst she was in hospital. And it said it portrayed that much of an image of her to her, that this is how it's got to be. She said she was so fixated on wanting to have their body and their life and the way they looked in their hair that she never thought once about maybe just having their health so she wasn't ill. Now that's a weird perspective. I mean, if you do have a read of Megan's stories, it's too long to read out and go through completely on the show, but it's posted on there, and it will go up. But Megan's just recently got married. Her partner looks after her. He's a lovely chappy, and she said she has her good days and her bad days, but she's learned that it's better to try and embrace it than try and live in the negative. And it's one of those stories that's on the fence. It's not a positive, but it's not a negative. But there's something in there that you can take from that to gain perspective as to the way she feels.
See, I've always been aware of men having body issues, whether they just want more muscles, want to lose weight, want to gain weight. But the first story I ever read about a guy with IBD and stomas happens to be Natalie's boyfriend, who in one of my posts I put up today did refer to him as a hottie. But Steve, you are. He could be a model, I swear.
He was sitting earlier. Did you not see him fantastic in his underwear?
No.
I might have to watch that back. But no, like his post went viral, and I'm pretty sure you've read it, haven't you, Steve? Like,
yeah,
it's just so honest, and it actually inspired me to write.
I read it. Yeah,
one of the posts I put up
on the night of my surgery. I read that. It really opened my eyes to loads of stuff. And then when I got to meet him, he's a good lad. You wouldn't know, would you?
I've posted a bit of what he said. It will come up on the show page later on.
Yeah, and if you do go back on the show page, there was an update that I posted about Steve, not last week, the week before. Because he's not been so active online recently because of his health. So if you go back through the show page, there is actually a big bio on there and a bit of a story and some updates and photos from Steve as well.
He also started with Lauren Morgan, the Sick But Invisible campaign that I'm part of, which is for anyone that has any invisible illness. And we are doing You Are Visible boxes to remind people that you don't have to be normal, whatever normal is supposed to be. You're still loved and respected and cared for as people, and it's people's friends and families that are nominating these people in, and it's something that we all feel quite strongly about within the Sick But Invisible campaign, that a lot of people, when they're sick, feel like they're no longer a person. They feel like they're a burden. I have felt an inconvenience on my husband, my family, even though they would never ever dream of saying anything like that, because that's not how they would perceive it, but I still do. It makes you feel awful that you're putting on people, even though you can't help it. And that doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter if you have IBD or cancer or arthritis or I can't pronounce what Rachel has, so I'm not going to. But it all puts a toll on your own image of yourself, whether it's just mentally inflicted or it is how you see your body, because body image is just as much to do with your mental state as it
more
is
than that,
anything
isn't
else.
It? Yeah, it's everything to do with your mental, isn't it? I had a really positive one. Sorry.
No, carry on. It's all right, you go, Steve.
I had a really positive response from a gentleman. I won't name him because he didn't say. He said before his surgery, he struggled with his UC. Could never ever hold any weight above 7 stone. Now 3 years on since his surgery, he's happy 12 stone. Back playing football, he's never looked back. Always has his top off on holiday and wears his bag and scars with pride, which is really nice to hear. It's sort of the stuffy attitude. He's healthy now, feels healthy. It's just an add-on, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's what half of it is as well sometimes. I think once you've finally got over used to feeling normal and feeling healthy, then I think other things do start coming back to you. So that's your confidence, your body image. It comes in time, it takes time. I think if you've had the surgery planned, regardless of it being planned or you've elected to have that surgery, I think you have a bit longer to wrap your head around things, whereas within having an emergency case and you're just landed with it, I think that's harder to deal with and a bit more of a struggle.
Yeah, I had a girl and she'd I think it was a couple of years ago, she'd had surgery. She didn't even know she had IBD at that point. So it was taken in, very ill, straight in surgery, came out with a stoma. And she's struggling with weight gain and because of the weight gain, what clothes to wear that she feels comfortable in, where you can't see the bag. Because of it being an emergency as well, she said her stoma was obviously not sort of pre-designated where we all get our black spots and all that. They went in and just had to do it. So it's in a bit of an odd position, which makes wearing some clothes difficult. And I think obviously in her case, it's taken that bit longer because it was just such a shock.
Whereabouts is it situated?
I think she said it's quite near her belly button, which causes her issues. She's put on a bit more weight than she would have liked, so she wants to lose a bit of weight, but I'm still talking to her. I'm just waiting for a reply, but
I think that's quite normal after, like, you maintain for a little while, I think, or you lose weight depending on if you're allowed to eat or not straight after surgery. But I definitely put on some weight, not a lot, like just a few pounds,
but I'm a little bit more than I was before.
It was noticeable for me, and I was a bit gutted, and then I fell pregnant, so I had to try and push that out of my head anyway. But like, it's hard because my stomach's in line with my belly button, so high-waisted stuff usually, like, that everyone raves on about, I'm like, no, it's not gonna work for me.
It cuts just a little bit at the top of mine, and it's a bit uncomfortable. But I found the underwear a lot easier to sort of flatten you off, give you that shape that you want, and then you can wear with that whatever you want then.
See, my issue is the top of the bag's like here and the underwear's there. So I always have like, and that's where all the air seems to just go poof.
I just say it's you, Steph.
Yeah.
I have to like let it out and sort of push it down a bit when I'm out, which can be a bit inconvenient.
But I'm just saying, like, mine, I just measured now. I've just measured and going, yeah, both of them are in line with my belly button. Can I just read out a post? So I had a few. So the comments that I've had were like a mixture. It was the same as what Nat said. The men was tending towards a negative view. But I read this and I thought it was really lovely. Like, this lady said, I love this question. Mine has been affected, but not as you may think. My body image has grown massively positive since having my ostomies. I didn't go into much detail, but I quite like that. It's good to know that some people has got okay, and I think it is a process, and it changes over time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think I can be perfectly honest. I got told last year that I was going to have the surgery. I had no choice in the matter. It was going to happen. It just took planning because of the scar tissue. And I had such a horrendous time the first time round, and because I had an open wound and because I had the incisional hernia and the way that the stoma had been placed, it wasn't placed ideal because it was an emergency and everything else. I think the second time round I just said, fuck it, and grab it by the balls and carry on with it, because it's the only attitude that I can have. I can't sit there and cry anymore. And it's not healthy for me to do so, and so it doesn't impact my mental health. I have to give myself a good shake every now and again and tell myself it's not as bad as what it could be.
I spent 3
I'm the
weeks
same as you.
looking at stomas on the internet, whether they were prolapsed or they'd fallen retracted. I didn't care. I just needed to shock myself, because I said, I need this operation, I need to have it. Whereas when I was 21, you wouldn't have caught me at all with one. But
Yeah, I think joining
I spent 3 weeks just crying about it, and shock therapy for me helped. And like, I remember I was more bothered about how Stephen would have thought, and like, I just stood there with like the training bag you get if you're planning to have the surgery, and he just responded. I was like, do I still look attractive? And he's just like, you do. The bag's not great, but you're fine. He's like, and it doesn't matter if you have the bag. And I think that's what a lot of people worry about.
I think for both
The body image to a partner.
I think both for the men and the women watching this with regards to the body image and the stoma bags. I believe Steffi said something last week about what Jasmine said at the exhibition last year. And
I love that. I love that.
It's an asshole filter.
It's an
that's
arsehole
brilliant.
filter.
Yeah, it's
And
great.
you know what? She's hit the button on. She's hit it right on the button there. She really has.
At the end of the day,
Well,
people.
Steve's met Jasmine as well, so he knows
Yeah.
exactly what she's
It's
like.
great. I love that phrase.
But
It's just no bullshit then, is there?
no, there is no bullshit. And at the end of the day, I think sometimes, for those of you that are going into new relationships, especially if you have got a stoma, you just I know it's difficult and I know it's hard, but sometimes you're just better off coming out with it within the first or second day, because at the end of the day, don't get yourself invested into something and then drop it, and then either have the good response or the bad response. I mean, we have seen a few responses across the support groups where people have got stoma bags. They haven't told their date until maybe the 5th or 6th day in, and some of the responses they've had have been
Can I just point out that I do know people with stomas that have done the deed and not even told them, and the other person hasn't even been aware, because it's all about being confident in yourself, and like, I remember I was stood there open mouthed when this person was telling me so that they'd managed to have numerous partners, and they weren't even aware. So
Well,
I guess
how the fuck did they keep that hid?
I've got one.
positions, I guess.
And I'm with somebody, obviously, that's got a stoma, and you can't tell at all. You really. Sometimes I would say the only thing is you need to make sure you go and empty beforehand, or try as best you can.
Yeah, you don't want incidents of it popping, the
No.
bag popping. No,
But sometimes you just it really, like, it's just not even a thing, and we've both got them. So I had some really lucky experiences when I first got mine. I was I'd been out with my friend and met a guy, and we were just sort of messaging, planning on meeting up when I got taken into hospital. And he was a bit of a lad and a bit of a, not probably the sort of person I was thinking about sort of marrying and all that. And but it was a good laugh, and we were on about going out for another drink. And he found out I was in hospital. He messaged me every day to find out how I was. And when I told him I needed surgery, and I just sort of said, look, this is what I'm going to have, he was like, so?
I mean, Steve,
and people surprise you.
Sorry, because we've got to wrap up quickly. I just want Steve, do you find that women are any different with regards to the men approach? So a woman with regards to you having a stoma bag, what would your approach be?
I think I would definitely adopt Jasmine's her approach. Really, there would be nothing hidden. I think you owe it to yourself above anything else.
You've got nothing to be ashamed of.
No.
And I think honesty is always the best policy.
What's that say?
What's that say?
No comment.
Okay, right. Steve said no comment, so we're going to say no comment. Okie dokies.
But that's my opinion. I think. But ultimately, you've got to be comfortable in yourself, and if you're not, then it's a total different kettle of fish, isn't it?
Yeah, no.
I personally, my confidence since having my bag it's 10 times more than it was 8 years prior. I had fantastic confidence when I was younger, and then I got the disease, and that was just stripped from me. My dignity, everything was gone. So, you know, the emergency surgery just changed me around. I felt 10 years younger. I felt happy. I was going to work in quite a medial, boring job, but so happy just to be not in pain, just to be not going to the toilet 30 times a day. So, you know, nothing, you couldn't put me down. My attitude was fantastic. Then obviously the arthritis hit, which was really painful, probably worse than the colitis. But that's under control now. So I've still kept that happy attitude. You know, I can't constantly remind myself of how it was, and I'll never ever forget how it was. Just, you know, it could never be that bad.
No,
And that's my attitude, really. So it's kind of like it's a bag on my tummy. So what? You don't like it? It's tough shit.
Still
Yeah,
better
really,
than some people's bums.
You know what? I'm constantly telling people that it's so much better than doing it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
Really.
So cleaner.
It really
It
is.
really is. I tell you what, it should be. You should be able to opt for it. Seems good. You really should. Honestly, I so much better. And like I say, my favourite saying is when it comes to shitting, I'm a stand-up kind of guy. You know what I mean?
Okay, we're going to have to wrap up for this evening because we're slightly overrun. Anyhow, if you wish to contact Steve, then please do so. You can contact us all across our relevant platforms. If you are watching this and don't wish to miss an episode or play catch up, you can actually subscribe to it, which will send you a notification or an email every time we're due to go live every Thursday. Next week, we have decided on the ad hoc topics of to name or not to name your stoma. So I've now got Shakespeare going around in my head, to be or not to be, and that is the question. We are also going to cover your child's opinion on you having a stoma bag, I believe was mentioned as well, purely because of what Steph is doing for World IBD Day tomorrow.
Yeah, which is why we are all wearing some form of
Which is why we're all wearing some form of purple.
Can I tell you one quick thing about that?
Yeah,
about
sure.
the children. My little lad, he says, I say, I'm going to the toilet. He says, what are you going for, Dad? Number 4. I said, number 4. He says, yeah, 1's a wee, 2's a poo, 3's a sick, and 4's for a bag. That's quality. I've got my own number now. He says, you're having a 4 in there. Papa.
Oh, bless him. Okay, so yeah, we will roll those topics out within the next couple of days. It may not necessarily be tomorrow, but it will be over the weekend at some point. I need a rest. So we're going to say goodnight for this evening. We've got stories going up every half an hour on the Facebook page. If there are any more of you that wish to share your body stories, then please email any of us or inbox any of us across the relevant platforms, and we can have them posted up to the show for you. So thank you for watching. And a quick shout out from Brian. He said, hi, Nat, and hi, Steve.
Hi.
But we're going to log out for this evening. So we'll say bye, and we'll see you all again next week. Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.